Hey, shalom, shalom, mishpocha. Welcome to another edition of the Brit Chadashah Connections. This is Torah portion, or Parashah, number 28, Metzora, which means the leper, and we're going to be taking our passage from Matthew chapter 9, verses 20 through 26. And it says, "And behold, a woman which was diseased with an issue of blood 12 years came behind him, Yeshua, and touched the hem or the tzitzit of his garment. For she said within herself, If I may but touch his garment, I shall be whole. But Yeshua turned him about, and when he saw her, he said, Daughter, be of good comfort. Thy faith has made thee whole. And the woman was made whole from that hour. And when Yeshua came into the ruler's house, he saw the minstrels and the people making a noise, and he said unto them, Give place, for the maid is not dead, but sleepeth. And they laughed him to scorn. But when the people were put forth, he went in and took her by the hand, and the maid arose, and the fame thereof went abroad into all of that land." So our Torah portion, or our Brit Chadashah connection, I should say, focuses on the woman which had the issue of blood 12 years. Now, according to Leviticus chapter 15, verses 25 through 33, this issue of blood would have put her in a state of perpetual uncleanness. Anybody who was unclean due to an oozing sore or the aretz, leprosy, some sort of skin disease that was deemed as leprous, they were put outside the camp for 7 days to see if it would go away on its own. If not, they were perpetually put outside the camp and they could not have human contact. Why? I'm not sure that they knew exactly why, but our God is so wise, so powerful. He knew all about blood-borne pathogens and how diseases are transmitted before we rediscovered them through scientific method. And so to keep the community of Israel safe, it wasn't out of humiliation, it wasn't out of cruelty, and it wasn't out of punishment that people were put outside the camp due to their uncleanness. It was for the communal health of the whole of the community, so that the disease could not spread and become a plague. So this woman who had the issue of blood 12 years, she had a continual blood hemorrhage within her. That was not normal. It was definitely not a part of her menstrual cycle or anything of that nature. So therefore, she was separated from her family and friends for this period of time. And that's just maddening. I couldn't imagine being separated from my family and friends for 12 years. So when she heard that Yeshua was coming, she's like, this is it. This is my only hope. This is my last chance. Because she had heard the fame of Yeshua, that he's been able to heal people and raise the dead, etc., etc. So she risked death herself. She had nothing to lose. This was kind of like a death sentence anyway, being put outside the camp with no human contact. And so she thought, well, what do I have to lose? If Yeshua doesn't like what I did, and he'd have every right to turn me over to the authorities because I broke Torah, and I have an issue of blood, and here I am in the midst of everybody. So she took a great risk. Not only that, but a great risk in touching a great rabbi. But it said that she said to herself that if I could but touch the hem, which in other words, it's not a hem like the hem of a skirt or the hem of a shirt. This Greek word, the translators they didn't really know how to translate it. But the equivalent Hebrew and Aramaic word is talking about the tzitzit, or the fringes of Yeshua's garment, whether it was his daily garment or whether it was his talid gadol, his prayer shawl. She said, if I can but touch the tzitzit. Why was she so focused on the tzitzit? Why did she feel that she had to touch the tzitzit? What was so important about that? Well, if we remember that the tzitzit is that visual reminder, kind of like the string around the finger, to remind us of the 613 mitzvot, to remind us of the commandments of Torah. And it's tied and wrapped in such a way. It has 5 knots, representing the 5 books of Torah, in other words, representing the very word of God itself, and it has 4 coils representing the 4-letter Hebrew name of God, Yud He Vav He. And so, in saying if I could but touch the tzitzit, the hem of his garment, in other words, if I could just grab on to the word of God and the name of God, if I could grab onto the words of Torah and the name of Torah, because there's healing and power in the name and in the word of the Lord, she says, I know I'll be healed. So this was an act of faith. And as Yeshua said many, many times to people that he is healed, he said, it was your faith that made you whole. You know, it was your faith, your faith, your faith. So she had faith. She said, if I could but just touch the tzitzit, grab onto the name and the word of the Almighty Elohim of Israel, I know I'll be healed. And that's exactly what was done. So I think this is just a really awesome story that really ties the Torah portion in with the Brit Chadashah, the renewed covenant, the New Testament. So thank you so much for watching. Shabbat Shalom and Shavua Tov. Bye-bye, everybody.